Bitcoin's going to zero. All these billionaires like Elon Musk and Chamas, they're all warning that Bitcoin is possibly going to zero. Here's the difference between the long-term price expectation and the short-term expectation of Bitcoin. Short-term, as in next few months, even a year or two, yes, Bitcoin can get to 200K, 250K, some amazing moves, right? But longer term, it is under threat. Now, don't take my word for it. Here's Elon Musk saying this himself. This is an expert in quantum computing saying this breakthrough means post-quantum cryptography, right, and encryption needs to get moving. Elon says, yeah, which means if it doesn't get moving, if you don't improve on the encryption method, right, post-quantum computing, right, once QC, quantum computing comes along, it's going to be a problem. It's going to take down not just Bitcoin, but so many encryption methods, right? And here's also, this guy is one of the richest men in the world. He's worth like about $4 or $5 billion. Chamath, I can't pronounce his last name, but he's one of the major founding investors in Solana. So these are not like people who don't know anything about tech. What is he saying? 2 to 5 year window before quantum computing becomes advanced enough to potentially break Bitcoin's encryption. All these major, right, tech titans. They're not just like real estate titans. This is not like an 80-year-old, some New York real estate tycoon like Trump who doesn't know anything about, crypto. This is basically like people who invest in Doge, invest in Solana, invest in Bitcoin, and they are tech titans. They're saying this, right? So here's the thing. There's a difference between the short term and the long term. Short term, I know why you guys are tuning in. You want to see Pablo's analysis on where Bitcoin price is going. Okay, we can do that first, and then I'll tell you guys where Bitcoin is likely headed next week, next month, next year, and then which I think is bull market, right? I've been saying that for a long time. I said Bitcoin was hitting 94K when it was back in the 50s, right? I made all those videos and posts and Twitter to say this is happening. But now I'm going to tell you guys about two altcoins that we can get into. In fact, I'm getting into myself before this quantum computing thing comes along, and they could actually replace Bitcoin. But before I get onto the two altcoins that are quantum resistant, that can work in the quantum computing world, which we're about to have in fact, it's already here, right? Let me tell you about the exchange that Pablo is using. People ask, which exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses Bitunix because it's the largest non-KYC. I'll say it again, non-KYC exchange in the world. That means American users can use it, right? Non-KYC means they don't ask you for ID. That means they can't see if you're American or not. American users can use it, and they have these great rewards, right? And that means a lot of other people can't see it. Governments, right? Banks, or even tax offices, IRS. That's why non-KYC has great advantages. You deposit $100 US, get $220 futures bonus. Deposit $1,000 US, get $200 futures bonus. Great prizes, but that's the Pablo He-Man package, and it ends in less than 2 weeks. Only on this Bitunix platform with the Pablo link. And if you're on YouTube right now, in the description below, the first link is for Bitunix. But if you're on other platforms, then basically just go to my page, my stand link with Pablo He-Man, click on that. And it's the first thing on my page because, this is a big deal. We click on Bitunix and that takes you to the page with the deals. But Pablo He-Man only for the next 13 days. And it's basically, great rewards. The Pablo He-Man link to Bitunix. People who are in the tech field are saying, I don't think most people fully understand the significance of this breakthrough, right? And this was the news announced by Google saying that there is they've made a major breakthrough with quantum computing. That's indeed right. You're watching this and you don't fully understand what's the significance of this breakthrough. Let's do Bitcoin price first, and then I'll explain more on what's happening with quantum computing and Bitcoin and the whole field of crypto. So here's the price of Bitcoin. What I like about it is that now we've got a weekly close above 100K, and it's closing around, right now we're closing the weekly right now around 102.7, right? And this is the first time it's closed the weekly, second time, but this was only 1 day. This time it spent 5 days above 100K. So it's looking a lot better than before. This was the reason why I predicted 94K Bitcoin, because when we were down here, I told my Discord, I told people on social media, I kept on telling folks it's going to 94K because it's at the top of this channel. And that's where we hit it, right? Now, Bitcoin not only stood up top of the channel for a long time now, for like 3 or 4 weeks, and it's finally made a solid close above 100K as well. Things are looking much better than before, right? Much better than before. So this is 4 closes above the channel. Now we can say that there's a good chance now Bitcoin can bounce off this channel, revisit the 90s, bounce off the channel, and go again. 108K, 115, 120K, whatever you think it is. Short term, Bitcoin's looking a lot better. Futures looking brighter in the next few weeks, next few months. Let's have a look at the daily chart. So on the daily chart, what I like is the fact that we've had 5 closes now. So here's 100K. Here's 100K, right? So we've had this 1 close, 2 close, 3, 4, 5 closes, and it's a weekly close, right? Last time was a fake out because it was one day, Sunday, one day it closed above 100, and that was it. So basically, now it's closed 5 days. I said 5 to 7 days. Ideally, maybe wait for another couple of days for it to close above 100K to confirm. And right now we've got a weekly close as well, so it's looking better than before. Still, we can still at any time. Nothing's 100%. What I'm saying is right now, technically, Bitcoin has confirmed itself above 100K, right? But however, that just means it's a technical confirmation, and they can be faked out at any time, especially at a key level at like 100K. These exchanges and whales can still play a game with you. We can still get a dip back into the 90s, right? That can still happen. But I would say the probability is better than before now. I'd say about, better than 50% now. So I would be leaning towards Bitcoin staying above this line, which is 93.5 area, bounce off there, or maybe no bounce, and then try to explore higher. The way I would describe the situation we're in right now is like this. Before someone comes to me and says, hey, I'd like to, drive this truck for, say, a long distance drive for, say, 8 hours. And I'm like, do you have a driver's license? No, they don't even have a driver's license yet. They don't even have a driver's license. So I'm like, you're kidding yourself. There's not a chance I would let you drive that truck. Now this person comes back to me and they have an experience, like a gold driver's license, right? Which means they've been driving for 10 years, right? It still doesn't mean this person would be able to drive a truck for 8 hours and not have any accidents. Accidents can still happen, but at least they've demonstrated they've got a driver's license and they've held that driver's license for 10 years, right? So that's the situation Bitcoin is in right now. I'm more confident that it can run above 100K now, whether it's 108, whether it's 120, you think the top might be at 150K, whatever it is, that's up to you. I don't have a projection for that yet, but as I said, I'm bullish on Bitcoin because we're in a bull run right now. But that's getting into why I think Bitcoin is running into real trouble. And this is not some trolling to get eyeballs. This is Elon Musk and Chamath all saying Bitcoin is in major trouble in the next 2 or 5 years if they don't upgrade the Bitcoin network to be quantum safe. And you know what the problem is with upgrading to become quantum safe? People think, oh, we just do a hard fork. If we just do a hard fork, then it'll be quantum safe. But here's the problem. You know what happens when you do a hard fork? Bitcoin's done it plenty of times in the past, right? Like Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, these are all hard forks or soft forks from Bitcoin. So it can happen. But you know what happens when Bitcoin, every time it does a hard fork or soft fork, you lose something like 30 to 50% of the coins. So imagine if you're holding like $500,000, 100,000, $1 million in Bitcoin right now, be prepared to lose like half of that, right? You could lose all of it. Depends on where you are. Like it's a random draw. 50% of those folks, 40% are going to lose their Bitcoins, right? A hard fork is not an easy solution to look at. So that's why I've got 2 altcoins today that actually works in the quantum proof, quantum resistant era. So let me explain why I think this is so important, what most people don't understand. So this quantum computing thing, most people think around me say, oh, look, it's just another hype. It's just another fad. Like, remember how Metaverse, how Facebook says, changed its name to Meta. Facebook was all going to become all about the Metaverse, right? Well, the thing is, that was a hype, and we don't hear much about the Metaverse right now. And the reason why I don't think this is hype like the Metaverse is because this is a direct technological competition between China and the United States, right? China is basically now spending something like 5 to 6 times as much as the United States every year. They're coming up with these 504 qubit superconducting chips, right? People estimate you only need about 2,000 qubit. You need to improve this about 4 times, 4x this chip, right? Which can happen in the next 2 to 5 years. You 4x this chip into like a 2,000 cubic, right, chip, super chip, and then basically you've got enough to take on Bitcoin, to try to crack the Bitcoin encryption code, which is SHA-256. And the first coin that I'm going to show you guys is called Quanx, or QANX, right? It's been around for 5 or 6 years, and look at this. It used to be around this 20 cents area, and now it's basically only down to like a 6 cents area, right? So this is obviously kind of still quite cheap right now, only around 130 something mil, and it's quantum resistant. It's actually, now I'm not sponsored, by the way, by any of these. Not sponsored by any of these coins. I've just found them myself out of being investing in them. That's it. None of this is financial advice. And I mean, imagine if every other chain, every other coin is in trouble, and these 2 coins or chains are the only ones that are not in trouble. So shouldn't it be valued in the billions, right? I mean, that depends on how real do you think you take the quantum computing threat. Well, let's just say Elon Musk takes it pretty seriously. Chalmers takes it pretty seriously. China takes it pretty seriously, right? So this is a real technological war now between China and the US. So I think this thing could go, real far and can go for a long, big run. Now, the thing about Quanx, QANX, is that it's a European country has adopted that coin about 8 months ago. Which country, right? They can't tell you, but it's being officially, legally proven to be true because that country wants to remain anonymous. It's kind of like if you put in a new safe or a new security system in your house, you do not go out and advertise on your street, hey everybody, I'm putting a new safe in my bedroom and I put in a new security system. That you don't want to advertise that. You want to stay private, right, about your security. And that country in Europe wants to stay private as well. It could be Germany, could be Switzerland. My guess is Switzerland. But on top of that, another country, right, has invested in this QNAX, and that's Qatar. That's the country that hosted the World Cup. The last one where Messi won the World Cup. It's one of the richest countries in the world, even though it's very small, because they're rich in oil. It's kind of like Saudi Arabia. It's like a smaller version of Saudi Arabia. Okay, I'm not sponsored by that, but I just find the investment case very appealing. It's like 100 mil market cap right now. This thing could be worth billions if we think the threat to the quantum computing threat is true. And I do think it's true. So another one is called QRL. QRL is basically also kind of pretty low right now. Probably made a move just because I told my my Discord about it yesterday. So it's made a move. And by the way, the videos like this that I make, go to my Discord first and they look at it, and something like a day to half a day later, I open it up to the public. And it's also at about 115 million right now. So, and obviously, used to be at around $4, now just around $1. So once again, 75% down from the all-time high. The market right now in the world is not taking this seriously. The market is not taking this seriously. That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity for people to get in if the rest of the market is not taking it seriously. Now, the thing about QRL is that it doesn't have as many deals as QNAX, doesn't have as many sponsorship and major investors. But what QRL's got running for it is that it is actually open source. It's open source, so that means you can see what's going on there. It's a non-profit organization. Depends on your taste. You might think that's better. You might think the QNAX is better because it's more driven. Because people behind QNAX are, they have a financial monetary incentive to do well. So they're more driven and motivated to do well. Whereas QRL, it's profit, so they may not be as driven. But you might trust them more because they're not in it for the profit. They're there just to guard the world against major threats. And they're not just inviting crypto companies to join them and use their, layer one platform. They're inviting, credit card companies, because their encryption, and governments, their encryptions could get cracked really soon. So I am, buying both of these. That's not financial advice, but I just think the investment thesis is so obvious. Even if the metaverse was just a hype, was just a short-term hype thing, it still took coins like sand and mana to massive new all-time highs. And I do not think quantum computing is, I'll say it again, I do not think quantum computing is short-term hype, because China and United States, they have a race, tech race in AI. They have a tech race in EVs. They have a tech race in solar power. They have a tech race in semiconductor chips. And they definitely have a technological race in AI. This is not going to stop. These two guys are going to keep going until one dominate the other. Kind of like the Cold War, right? When US dominated the Soviet Union. And it won because, it invented great stuff like the internet. Kind of like when the Allies beat the Nazis in World War II. And they won because they cracked the German Enigma machine, right? There's a famous movie on this, starring Benedict Cumberbatch, right? The guy who plays Doctor Strange and Sherlock Holmes. It's called, he plays the famous computer scientist Alan Turing, right? And they solve this computing problem, and they cracked the German encryption machine called the Enigma code, right? And that's how they won World War II. You can Google for the name of the movie if you want to check it out. But this has happened throughout history. Right now, China and US in the same situation as the Allies and Nazis, as the Soviets and US in the Cold War, and they're basically trying to crack each other's code. And so they're not going to stop with quantum computing. When that thing comes, either China or US or both of them, both of these governments would have the power to crack the code of not just, Bitcoin, Ethereum, but almost everything, like Visa, MasterCard, everything. That's a scary future, but it's coming to us in the next 2 to 5 years. And these are all, Elon Musk and Chamath, these tech titans are all saying this. So the investment thesis here is clear, very truly clear to me. And I'm not even sponsored by any of these coins, but if you know them, if you actually represent the coin, if you're the CEO or founder of the coin, and you like Pablo and what I'm saying here, contact me. I like to get in contact with you guys. Send me a message, DM me on Twitter or Instagram, whatever. That's chat. Okay, thank you for your time, guys.